Definitely a rough start to the week, but this is part of trading, right? We're going to take losses. We're not always going to be correct. And unfortunately, today was a day for me to learn. Fortunately, I should say. Let me correct that. Fortunately, today I get to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my first trade. Okay. And I'm going to look at it based off of the potentially higher time frames, right? So I entered off of the 1 minute. The reason why I entered off the 1 minute was solely based off of the fact that we were under a 4 hour right resistance at this point. We had broken down. I thought, okay, price is clearly struggling in this area. It's gonna get pushed down. Another factor that I was looking for, why I was looking for sells and not necessarily buys. Again, this buy would have been off of Forex Factory, right? Again, Forex Factory, the home sales that happen at 10 a.m. But I was also looking at the fact that, based off Barron's, they were talking about how the market is down right now, right? And this is all, as y'all can see, the Federal Reserve inflation is the main event. Stocks are slipping as investors begin a shortened trading week in a cautious manner. So these are the kind of things that I'm like, okay, maybe I'm looking for sales. We were underneath my SMA. I entered, had my break of structure. I'm like, okay, cool. Break of structure under SMA, resistance, right? Price started coming down. Eventually, it reversed. Fortunately, I did close it before it hit my stop loss. So this was not a full blown loss. That's something that I think I did well. Moving on to my second trade. Now, this one is the one that kind of, I think, really hurt the most because of the fact that if I would have just, okay, we entered, right? Again, the way I'm looking at this, right, and I'm looking at the 1 minute for my entry on this specific trade. This one right here. Now, once again, right, my confidence wasn't all the way there. We are in this. So I got to clarify that, right? I want to take a good look at that and recognize that for what it is. However, if I would have entered, right, if I would have held it, I should say, as price was doing its dance, as y'all can see, price did come up here, once again here, and then it dropped and literally would have gave me that 5RR or 3. If I would have been going for the 3, I would have got that 3RR. So that would have been, this trade could have been potentially a very, very beautiful winner. I will say, right, I moved my stop loss from up here to above these highs, right, with the thought, hey, we're creating, some sort of resistance. So I wasn't expecting price to really, I would say, return this high up. I thought, we were making lows. I'm like, okay, cool. Looking at it now, again, maybe this could have been an area that I should have waited for price to return to. And then when it gave me this, I could have moved my stop loss above that, and then we could have held it for a little bit longer. My third trade is a little bit, I'm not going to lie, I think this trade, I would probably consider it potentially as a bit of a FOMO trade because of the fact that I had already taken 2 losses here. And then price finally dropped to literally the price area that I had originally targeted for potential TP1, or a 2RR. And I think when I seen price drop here, my initial thought is, okay, we're gonna keep pushing. Like, let me get it. And as y'all seen, my goal was to get in around here, and price just, by the time I entered it, it ran, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. So I closed it. I wasn't gonna hold on to a loser. I'm like, you know what am I doing? This don't even make sense. So I closed it out. Definitely was a FOMO trade. Lastly but not least, we have this trade here, right? Once again, this was a fight between bears and bulls, right? started having confidence when I started seeing this, right? The fact that we had a large bearish engulfing, price came back up bullish, next candle was bearish again. Now I didn't check the volume profile unfortunately on it, but then again, right? I was gonna close it. I had my finger on the thing as price was pushing up, but it quickly reversed. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna hold it just for a bit more. I seen this right here. This candle gave me hope. I'm like, okay, cool. We're breaking above, above these bullish candles for volume. And then we started dropping lower. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, maybe we're gonna start coming down here. However, I want to be very clear. We had the home sales. I was really betting on the fact for this specific trade right here. I was really betting on the fact that perhaps, their forecast was 680. I thought it was going to be, maybe they were going to truly hit those targets, which, as y'all see, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So me thinking, okay, cool, the currency is going to be good for the dollar, which is going to help and aid in price shooting down. However, since it was bad, that's why we got this push up here. That's exactly why price, ran up. And it ended up actually going towards my original supply, which was one of the areas that I was also looking at. So I think overall, I gotta be honest with myself. I think I would give myself a D for today. And the reason why is because although I think I am happy with my decisions to close my losses early, not to be greedy or trying to be hopeful when in drawdown. I'm not going to be hopeful. I'm going to keep them small. However, this is a resistance, right? This is a 4-hour resistance. And I've always struggled with supports and resistances. My bread and butter has been supply and demands. Like, that's where I've seen most of my edge come into play and where I'm mostly confident. So I think as much as I really would like to take these kind of setups, I have to do more work so that I could eventually include supports and resistances later down the line, or at least I should have been risking way, way less, like maybe a 0.05%. And unfortunately, I was risking 0.10s and it did end up adding up. So once again, I think there's work that I have to do, but this is kind of the process that I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to take maybe a step or two back so that I can start to really take steps moving forward. And if that means that I have to maybe, I wouldn't say, I'm not trying to blow these accounts, but if I need to paper trade, if I need to put this on pause, and perhaps that might be what I do. If I blow these accounts, I'm done. I'm not going to buy any more accounts. I'm not going to continue to burn money away. It's ridiculous, right? Because at the end of the day, there's no matter how many times you buy it, this is the thing that it's really been hitting me the hardest. You can pass the account. That doesn't mean you're going to get paid. If you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't mean you're going to get paid. So that's really what I'm looking at and considering while I'm doing this, that it's like, okay, well, maybe I might have to take some time and step back and really correct behaviors and really start working towards becoming a elite trader, because that's really what I want to be. I am competitive. I want to become more patient. I want to really put in the hours to become better, align all my things together. And yeah, we're really gonna keep moving forward.